to 26 2nd Avenue. And I showed up at the door, and I had that worrisome, wild look in my eyes. And Srila Prabhupada was giving the Bhagavatam class was earlier than it is nowadays. It was like 6:30 or something like that. So he was giving class, so, you know, it's a somewhat formal situation. And I showed up at the door. And he saw me, and he had already had experience with me after I had taken that trip. And, you know, like maybe the day or two earlier. And he knew what I could cause havoc. So he looked at me and said, "Lon, have you taken LSD?" Just like that.
No kidding.
And so I said, "No, Swamiji." And I wasn't exactly lying because I didn't take it that day, but, you know, I was obviously Prabhupada could see. I mean, he was getting all too much experience with acid heads. So what did I do? I started walking towards Prabhupada. And he stopped giving the class. You know, he was kind of like checking what I was going to do. See, this is the beauty of Prabhupada's sensitivity of wanting to fan the spark of devotion, but then there's a certain point where it would be too disruptive. That's even in the Lamrita, like if someone got violent, then they couldn't stay in the temple, you know. Anyway, when I was walking in a funny way because I thought the flow was going up and down. So it was pretty unusual, and I kind of landed like right at Prabhupada's lotus feet. And he's continued giving a class, and I behaved myself at that point, and I listened to the class. It's a very short thing, but it's interesting how it reveals Prabhupada's amazing sensitivity. There's another thing I'm thinking of so many encounters that are not in this printout, and another one was when I decided to redecorate Prabhupada's apartment. All right, I'll just tell you this one, and then we'll save some nectar for next time. Otherwise, I'm not like Shamashundara or, you know, or his wife Malati, or, you know, I don't have unlimited things to talk about like that. But I was under the influence, and I came to Prabhupada, went in his apartment, and when you take LSD, sometimes you think you're an artist. You know, even though I never had much propensity for painting or anything, but you know, you kind of think you're a lot of things, including God. That's called the messianic complex. You know, they don't know what to do with you when that happens. So, you know, I wasn't really doing. I didn't start painting Prabhupada's walls, but you know, I started moving things around. You know, it's like a lamp over here, and I put on the floor. Something on the floor, I put on the shelf. I mean, we didn't have much furniture, but I was kind of like, thought I was doing a great service by redecorating or rearranging his apartment. And there was a hippie couple was sitting there, and this shows the times, what kind of times they were. That instead of having a feeling that, wow, this elderly gentleman has come from India, Swamiji, and maybe we should tell this, you know, this acid freak to cool it. You know, it's disturbing, you know, what he's doing to Swami. But they didn't. They just were like, maybe they were a little affected too. They were watching it like a movie. It's almost like you could hear them saying, wow, this guy's really far out, really spaced out. What's the Swami gonna do now? You know?
Right.
It's like they were just enjoying the show. Or maybe they just didn't know what to do. So Srila Prabhupada, you know, he didn't have anybody there to kick me out. Maybe he wouldn't want me to be kicked out. But he comes up to me and he says, "It is very good that you've come. Very good that you come. Thank you, very good." And he extends his hand to shake hands with me. Now, just to be honest, I was too like shaky, so I didn't actually grab Prabhupada's hand, but at least I kind of rubbed his hand, you know, something like that. He said, "Very good that you've come, very good. By the way, the door is over there. But the way he did it, it wasn't like insulting. It wasn't like immediate, like he'd catch, he wants me to leave or anything like that. He was just gently, he didn't push me or anything. He was gently guiding me towards the door. And I sometimes compare myself with the snake that left Haridas Thakur's cave. Just got the idea that he should go, that he was causing a disturbance. So I just slithered away out of Prabhupada. This is another example of Prabhupada's finesse. You know, not he had to so to speak get rid of me. I was just disturbing him, but at the same time, he didn't want me to become alienated and not feel that I could come back again. So it's in the printout. Then you have a please come back. That's very emotional, culminating encounter with Prabhupada. That Prabhupada handed me a dhoti. Maybe it was just some piece of cloth. Maybe it was an old, sanyas. It was emergency. It was. He was so compassionate. He didn't want me to leave. You'll see it. Simply join us. We'll solve all your problems. And then he handed me this cloth, and I knew the indication was I was supposed to put it on.
Right.
And that put me way out on the mental platform. I mean, it says, what is this, a skirt? I don't use, and I just couldn't relate to it, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was, I had some neurosis going on, and I just didn't know what to do. Does the Swami want me to put it on right now, or should I take it with me and maybe go in another room and change from my pants, take off my pants, and put on this cloth instead? I was very confused about it, about a lot of things. And so I started walking towards the door, and this is in it, and I said, I'm not quite ready, not ready. And Prabhupada followed me to the door and put his hand on the door frame, and a tear was coming from his eyes. That's why it's called, please come back.
Wow. It
was a very traumatic thing. And the sequel of it is when I made my escape. I escaped the mercy, and it was already dark, and I went outside. Lower East Side was not a good neighborhood at that time, and I almost got killed as soon as I went outside.
Really?
For causing so much grief to a pure devotee, to the pure devotee.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare